Let's say someone has never heard of your series before, The Red Queen or Glass Sword. What can you tell us about it?
It's Hunger Games meets Game of Thrones meets X-Men, which for me, if someone were to tell me that, I'd be very excited. But the basic premise is it's a post-apocalyptic North America. Society is kind of reformed, and there are two different kinds of humans. There's regular red-blooded humans, and then there's silver-blooded humans who not only run the show, but they have special superhuman powers. And there's a girl who grows up red, she's impoverished, she's a thief, and she discovers somehow she has a superpower too. She can control lightning, and she gets sort of pulled into the silver world and forced to masquerade as one of them. And that's the premise of the first book. And the second book picks up exactly where the first leaves off. So there wasn't any sort of, a few days later kind of passage of time. I guess the most immediate thing is she has totally lost her ability to trust other people as well as herself, which leads to making some really bad decisions. When you can't even believe in what you're choosing, you're going to choose the wrong thing usually. So she has a bit of an anti-heroine arc in this one, discovering, how much power she has. And I've always loved the idea that power kind of corrupts. So we get to see how that deals with different people.
Was it hard for you to make her kind of an anti-hero for a little bit?
No, I loved doing it. I'm always drawn to more morally gray characters. I think they're more interesting and more realistic and more true to life. So having characters who aren't necessarily good and bad, they're just real people who make bad choices for the right reasons or do bad things, that it's really fun for me and really interesting to just play with their characters.
Is there anything that inspired her character? Like, do you see some of yourself or someone you know, or was it purely just what you imagined?
The book's written in first person, so I challenge anybody to write any book in first person and not even put a little glimmer of themselves in there. So there's definitely a lot of me in her. There's a lot of things that I wish I was or things I'm very glad I'm not. And the beginning of her started with a little bit of me, and then she sort of grew as the story was told, and I got to know who she was as a person.
What would you say was one of the hardest parts about writing this book?
The second book is proving that you're not a one-hit wonder and that it wasn't all a fluke. I would say the second book went pretty smoothly. The third book, which I'm writing right now, it's proving to be the tough one because I'm published now. I wrote the second book before the first book had published, and now I have sort of the echo chamber of readers and people who like the series or don't like the series, and I kind of have to tune it all out and at the same time do the business end of the stuff too.
What are your favorite qualities of Mare?
She's always willing to do whatever she can to keep the people she loves alive and uninjured, but it's a very short list of people. And then on the other hand, she has a really, really selfish streak, like a real great survival instinct. She makes mistakes and she sometimes does the wrong thing, and she's always ready to kind of pick herself back up. She has a really great ability to pick herself back up, and I really admire that in her.
Do you think she'd get along with like Katniss or maybe someone from Star Wars or anything like that?
I definitely think Princess Leia is my favorite female character of all time. So I would love if they would get together and get on like a house on fire, because Princess Leia is more the brains of the operation and Mare can be kind of the brawn. I think they'd be a good team.
Can you give us any clues about the third book?
Well, it's still in progress actually, but I will say that the ending of the second book goes directly into the beginning of the third. That's sort of, that's the pattern I'm hitting. So that is a large hint as to what's going to be happening for a good part of the third book.
Do you think it's just going to be a trilogy, or do you think it'll keep going?
As I was outlining the third book, I realized I wasn't going to get to the place I wanted to get to end the series. I know how it ends. So we went back to HarperCollins and said this is going to take more than 3 books, and they were like, oh, yay, 4. So we're going to do 4 books in this series. Hi, I'm Victoria Aveyard. I'm the author of Red Queen, and the sequel, Glass Sword, is out right now, so make sure you check it out. For more, go to JustineMagazine.com.